What happens when you use Struggle against a Ghost-type Pokemon? Hi, I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike, and today we're talking about the move Struggle. Struggle is a really interesting move. It's a normal type move with base 50 power, and when you use it, you take a pretty hefty chunk of damage. It's a move that no Pokemon learns normally by level up, TM, HM, or anything special, but every single Pokemon can use it, and that's because once you run out of power points or PP, or you can't use the other moves that you know for some reason, you're gonna be forced to use Struggle. But since Struggle is a normal type move, and we all know Ghost is immune to normal type moves, what would happen if we ended up using it on a Ghost type? Would you be unable to use the move and basically do nothing for the rest of the battle? Or would it ignore its typing and hit the Ghost type Pokemon anyway? Well, the answer to that question is actually pretty interesting, and it depends on which Pokemon game you're playing. There's basically two different scenarios here, one with Gen 1, Red, Blue, and Yellow, and one with every other Pokemon game ever. So first, let's see what happens in Gen 1. So for this little test, I have one of my favorite Pokemon here, Dragonite. We used up all of his PP fighting random trainers in the Elite Four, and now we're going up against the Ghost-type Elite Four member, Old Aggie. Now she leads off with a Gengar, and we're all out of moves, and I have no other Pokemon on my team, so let's see what happens when I'm forced to use Struggle against it. Dragonite has no moves left, Dragonite used Struggle, and it doesn't affect the enemy Gengar at all. So in the Gen 1 games, if you run out of moves, and you have to struggle against a Ghost-type Pokemon, you're not going to be able to do anything to it. So I guess in this situation, we're just gonna lose, because that Gengar, we can't hurt it no matter what we do. Now that's unfortunate because it does mean we're going to take a fat L there, but it does raise a pretty interesting question. If you're using a Ghost-type Pokemon and it's all out of its PP and it has to use Struggle, and your opponent is using a Ghost-type Pokemon and it's all out of its PP and it has to use Struggle as well, would that create like an infinite battle? Would you guys be able to do nothing over and over and over again? And the answer to that question is actually yes, but it wouldn't happen during normal gameplay. The reason for that is because in the Gen 1 games, and only the Gen 1 games, for some reason, any enemies you fight against, either trainer Pokemon or wild Pokemon, they'll all have an infinite amount of power points. Now because of that, you'll never really have to worry about getting into a struggle battle during normal gameplay. The only way to set up this type of situation would be if you and a buddy decide to battle against each other, and then you both happen to use Ghost-type Pokemon that ran out of PP during battle. But even then, you could always run away from the battle or, just turn your game off. So, in the Gen 1 games, and only the Gen 1 games, if you struggle on a Ghost-type Pokemon, it'll do nothing. Also, if you happen to go up against a Rock-type Pokemon, since Struggle functions like a normal type move, I guess, it'll do not very effective damage. Alright, so we saw what happened in Gen 1, and I think I've spoiled the answer for basically every other game now, but just for the sake of showing everything, let's see what happens when you use Struggle on a Ghost-type Pokemon in literally any other game besides Gen 1. So I'm gonna hop into Pokemon Diamond version because it's one of my favorite games of all time, and here we have this Starly. We used up all of its PP for Sunny Day. It's also kind of weird to me that Starly can learn Sunny Day, but it looks like we're not gonna be getting any more sun anytime soon. So let's run into the old chateau here where we could find plenty of Ghost-type Pokemon. There's one right now. And let's go for Struggle on this Ghastly, which we're actually faster than? No way. Oh, it just lets me know I have no moves left first. I was about to say, there's no way a level 4 Starly is outspeeding that Ghastly there. Alright, so Starly's gonna go for Struggle here, and it actually does work on the Ghastly. So after Gen 1, they realized, hey, maybe we should make it so this move actually hits Ghost-type Pokemon, and Struggle, even though it's a normal type move in every single Pokemon game, will always hit the Ghost-type Pokemon. It also isn't resisted by Rock or Steel types, and it doesn't get a same type attack bonus or stab from a normal type Pokemon using it, so it's essentially a normal move that does typeless damage. And also a little Pokemon fun fact here, Struggle will always hit Shedinja even through its Wonder Guard, which normally makes it so Shedinja can only take damage from super effective moves. So if all else fails and you're stuck against a Shedinja, just use up all your power points and eventually you'll be able to struggle and knock it out. And also one more final fun fact, even though once again Struggle is classified as a normal type move, you can't change the type of damage that Struggle does with abilities like Pixelate or moves like Electrify. It's always going to be classified as a normal type move and do typeless damage. So my friends, that's what happens when you use Struggle against a Ghost-type Pokemon. I find it really interesting how early on it didn't affect Ghost types, but I guess they took a closer look at it and said, hey, that doesn't make any sense, because then there will just be lots and lots of unwinnable battles, so they changed it from Generation 2 onward to do typeless damage. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more of my Pokemon content. And also, if you want to see me test out more weird situations like this, I have a big playlist listed down in the description below where I test out lots of crazy things in Pokemon. As always, my friends, thanks so much for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.